Welcome in, Buckeye Nation, to the OHIO Podcast Monday Night Call-In Show. I am your host, the Wildman, Chris Wilds, coming to you live and loud with everything Scarlet and Gray. Whether you are watching us on YouTube, Rumble, X, or Facebook, we are glad you are here and ready to talk some Buckeye football tonight. Guys, before we dive in, do us a favor. Smash that like button, hit subscribe. Don't forget to ring that bell. It's totally free, takes just a second, and really helps us with the algorithm so that we can keep bringing you the best Buckeye content out there. And hey, if you really love what we do, you know what? You can go that extra mile, become an official member of the OHIO Podcast Pod Squad for just $3.99 a month, which is less than the price of a Happy Meal. You can score yourself a free t-shirt after your first month's renewal, free shipping from our online store, exclusive behind-the-wall content, and guys, maybe the best thing about all, it's going to be coming soon. You'll get free digital access to our Big Ten preview magazine, and again, all for less than the price of a Happy Meal at McDonald's, guys. All right, Buckeye fans, the phone lines are officially open. We got a couple in queue already. If you got some thoughts, some takes, some rants, some hot opinions, and we want all of it. So let's not waste any more time. We're going to get right to it. So before we get started, just let me tell you, big news today. Landed that big boom that Devin predicted last night. We have Jordan Thomas now officially committed to become a Buckeye. The defensive back out of Oradell, New Jersey. He was the 125th ranked player according to 247 Sports, 176 nationally according to the composite. Big get, second best player out of New Jersey, 17th best cornerback. Big get for Coach Walton. Guys, we're rolling. We're rolling. The Buckeyes are just rolling right now. And speaking of rolling, let's roll right on over to the telephones. We have, oh my, is this who I think it is? Let's see here. Maybe not. We're going to find out. Good evening, caller. Who we got on the line?
Hey, this is Dave in Tampa.
Dave, how is Tampa, man?
Hot. We just got some rain this weekend finally. It was much needed. Some prayers answered there.
Well, that's good.
So, I saw that we got a big add to the 2026 class.
Absolutely.
Good deal.
Yeah, Jordan Thomas, one of the big cornerback targets for Coach Walton. I'll tell you what, kid's extremely talented. 6'1", 185. I'm telling you, the kid is just phenomenal. Physically imposing. He's got great speed. Just tremendous athlete. He has great focus. He has a willingness to go after the football. I'm just so excited to see this guy get out there and what he learns from Coach Walt, see where it takes him. Because I'm telling you right now, I really feel like this kid is a definite NFL prospect right now. But you know what?
Well,
Dave,
he is a good.
Speaking of players getting some new commitments or players or teams getting new commitments, I saw some footage today of rookie minicamp for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm telling you, Emeka Egbuka looked pretty good down there.
Emeka is going to do awesome down here, man. He'll have an amazing career here because they love to throw the ball, and he'll have an amazing career. I wouldn't be surprised. He'll leave Buccaneers as long as he has a good, healthy career. He'll be the all-time leading receiver here.
Wow, that's big shoes to fill, man. That's an awful lot to put on a rookie. But you know what? I don't disagree with you, and I think he's gonna make Baker look that much better down there.
I think I can count on one hand how many times Emeka dropped the ball, and if I still got a finger or two left over while he was here, while he was at Ohio State. He's going to be he's going to be missed big time because I mean that was a guaranteed catch if you got anywhere near him.
Yeah, and it wasn't just about the skill; it was about the leadership too. I'm telling you, the guy was an amazing leader off the field as much as he was on the field. I agree. He's going to be missed, but I feel like we got some guys, David, who can step up and fill that role. I really do. I think we got some guys who are ready to come in and fill that role, be the next group of leaders. And they talk about at Ohio State, you don't just we don't rebuild, we reload. But the fact that Ryan Day has been able to get the type of character guys he's got, and yes, they have a tremendous amount of talent, but to be able to get these kind of character guys, to be able to hold up what going back to, I mean, if you think about the the open show of faith and showing what this program is all about, going back to guys like CJ Stroud, Master Teague, kind of where it all really, I think, started coming to the forefront. We have these type of guys still rolling out. So I'm telling you, not just talented kids, but great kids. Ryan Day's doing a tremendous job there bringing those guys in.
Yeah, I caught a little bit of the Jordan who was talking before.
Yeah, Jordan Thomas.
He was talking. Jordan Thomas. He was thanking his mom and his dad. And if you listen to these interviews that Dev and Mello have, these kids are just they got their heads screwed on right. Usually got both parents in their lives, and you can just kind of tell by listening to them that they're going to be Buckeyes. Because you just look at that, you compare our culture to everybody else's. I would say there's probably only a small handful that have a culture that we have at Ohio State. Us, I think Notre Dame, Texas culture seems to be very good. The rest of them is kind of like, you don't really know what their culture is, or it's Georgia's.
Well,
Georgia is
a mess.
It's a car wreck. No pun intended, but it's a car wreck.
As Mika said last night, it's a dumpster fire down there in Georgia. And we did a show last night. I don't know if you caught that last night, where we ranked the top 10 coaching jobs in the country. And one of the reasons we put Ohio State ahead of Georgia was the train wreck that is the culture down there right now. The fact that you're talking about a team that in the last 2 years has had more arrests than wins. They have not been an unsuccessful team. They've been a very good team. They've just had that many more arrests. And it's scary.
I think they take another step back.
Yeah,
I think they take another step back this year. I do, because they haven't addressed the problem. You haven't gotten rid of the cancer; it only grows. So, unfortunately, I don't know what Kirby's doing down there, but it's a dumpster fire, man, and it's heading towards a gasoline plant. It's going to end up being Florida here if they don't get it under control. But we're rolling here, and I think there's going to be some other the Womack young man out of Mississippi. He's going to be a Buckeye. There's no doubt in my mind.
Yeah.
After listening to him and his dad, like that kid's going to be a Buckeye. I think Darius Gray is another one. That kid's going to be a Buckeye.
And a lot of people have us out on Tyler Atkinson, and I'm here to tell you, they've got him crystal balled to Georgia, but I'm not 100% sold on that. I know he's a Georgia kid, but I'm not 100% sure that Tyler Atkinson. I mean, if you look, he was just visited by a couple of Ohio State coaches here this past weekend, I believe it was. Patricia Laurinaitis and Tim Walton went down there, and they had from all impressions on all sides what was a great visit. And I really feel like, man, even though he is crystal balled over to Georgia, and I understand why, hometown guy, they're probably going to try to throw a lot of money at him. But depending on how their NIL shakes out, because I don't think that, I mean, they're out there spending money like it's going out of style. Are they going to have enough to secure him along with everybody else? I don't know. I think we have an opportunity at Ohio State to sneak in and grab this kid. And if we do, man, that's not only a slap in the face to Georgia, but that's a big get for the Buckeyes.
Absolutely. Mello said he's going to be a Buckeye.
I've got that sense.
I think he's going to be a Buckeye. I think the kid's got his head on the screw. I'm out there watching film on him.
Yeah.
This is this morning or last night? I've seen film on him before. He is a freaking heat-seeking missile. And
yeah.
Wherever the ball is at, and he's
right there.
That kid is absolute fast. His reads are fantastic. His post read snap is absolutely the best that I've seen. Absolutely the best, and he just finds a crease and gets to the ball.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he is an absolute.
Also, the kid out of what's the kid out of Olentangy, that linebacker? He's another one. This has.
Yeah, the kid that we've already signed him, I believe, haven't we?
Yeah, I think he's already. Yeah, he's already in the bag. I think he signed a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah,
but we're killing it right now, and it's only going to get better for us. It's only going to get worse for everybody. It's only going to get worse for Scum. It's only going to get worse for Georgia. And
we're going to get a couple good running backs in this class too. I really think that we're going to get the kid from Delaware Hayes. And then I would not be surprised at all if we don't get Savion Hyder as well. And I'm telling you that's a brutal 1-2 punch.
We've already got anything. We just picked up 2 dudes like them.
You know what? You can never have too many.
You can never have. Woody always used to say you need to have a pair and a spare for your running backs.
That's right.
And nothing is more true. That was back in the day when they primarily ran the ball. Especially Woody. Woody was running the ball 99% of the time. But today's it's no different. Even though it's a passing game now, you still have to have those running backs because it's so wide open that these guys are so fast and just ripped that they're hitting. I mean, it is amazing that there's not more concussions and broken helmets and just all that stuff. It's crazy.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, talked about the receivers too. Of course, not that long ago, we just about a week and a half ago, we picked up Caden Dixon Wyatt to go along with Chris Henry Jr. I mean, the offensive firepower that we are bringing in 2026 is ridiculous.
It's insane what we're doing right now. It made me think a few days ago. It's like, now we stacking too many kids, and these kids are going to, how many of these kids are going? If they're not on the field in a couple of years, they're going to hit the portal.
But I think that's exactly why we're going out and getting as many guys at these skill positions as we are, and at all positions. But I mean, but we are up to the number 3 ranked recruiting class in the country right now for 2026. And, we've already got Blaine Bradford, the safety, in the bag, signed him. And I am agreeing with you. I really think we're going to get the kid out of Mississippi as well.
Womack, I think he's a Buckeye. I can tell you right now.
I agree.
Listening to him and listening to his father, he's a Buckeye.
I agree. You talk about Henry and Dixon Wyatt, then you look at, we've gotten a couple of actually good offensive linemen in the mix for this next This cycle as well with Riley and Greer, uh, and I'm telling you, we got Tucker Smith, who I think is an underrated guy, at 3 stars. I think he's a guy who can develop well. We got Jordan Thomas now. We've got Jacob Weatherspoon. So a couple of defensive backs there in the corners in the mix. So, we got a third receiver in Jaden Ricketts. And one of the guys who I don't think we've talked about enough. And if you talk, and by the way, CJ Sana was the guy you were thinking about, the linebacker out of Olentangy.
Yes.
A couple guys that we haven't talked a lot about, but if you watched our recruitment videos that Eric and I did with these guys, Brock Boyd, the wide receiver out of Texas.
Oh,
that kid is
yes.
tough. He is tough. And then somebody else I really, really like is Fordham, who is the tight end we picked up out of Jacksonville. I'm telling you what this team is doing with the recruiting right now is just amazing. And I really feel like we're ranked third, but I think the quality of guys we're getting. See, this is something we talked about last night. I have a big problem with some of these recruiting services because I truly believe that if you watch the video, like, and the one that jumped out to me that really just blew my mind was Brock Boyd as a 3-star. Are you kidding me? Have you seen the kid play?
How do you like a kid? Oh yeah, just turn on the freaking film and watch him, man. He's a fastest. First off, he's in Texas, 6A football. All right, the competition he's playing against is elite.
Yes.
He runs what, a 10.8?
Yeah.
10.8, 100 meter.
Yeah.
That's blazing speed, and I can tell you right now, he's faster than that because he is smoking kids in Texas. He's faster than the next fastest guy by 2 steps.
Yeah.
The next fastest guy on the field is 2 steps behind him.
And here's the other thing about this guy. Even though he is a speedster, he plays a little bit of physical football when he's out there blocking too. Now, I think we need to see more of it. I think we need to see more of it. But from what I've seen out of this kid, I'm excited for what he brings. And he's the 4th ranked wide receiver in the class right now.
That's insane. That kid should be a 5-star all day long. All day long.
I'll tell you, he will be by the time Heartline's done.
They dropped what's the name's on the tip of my brain. The other kid from Modern Day. They dropped him. They dropped him down to the 24th.
Oh, Chris Henry?
It's like, yeah, they dropped Chris Henry.
Yeah, that's called the Buckeye effect. And that's what happens when a recruit signs with Ohio State. These national recruiting services, and again, this is something that Eric and Corey and myself and Mika touched on last night. These things, I don't want to say they're corrupt, but they can be bought and sold. ESPN's maybe one of the worst.
I don't know what their deal is, but that's freaking bullcrap. That we land a 5-star or whatever, then they drop them down after they come to Ohio State.
Look at the history. That's what they do. Just look at the history, though. That's what they do. So, all right, David. Hey, I've got 5 other calls in queue, so I got to run, man. Anything else before we go?
OH.
Iowa, brother. You have a great night.
You too.
All right, guys. That was a great call to start. Let's keep them going. Hey, we can always use a super chat or two. If you have something you want to shout out there to us, throw a super chat out there. Helps us keep the lights on, keep things going here. And speaking of keeping things going, or maybe getting things going, I got a pretty good idea. I know who's on the line, and I bet she can get things going right now. What's up, TG?
Yo, what's up, Chris?
Oh man, it's a great day. It's a great day.
Yeah.
My stress level's up here right now. I ain't gonna lie. We are a week away from the end of school here in Marion, and we talk about on fire. Some of my little friends are on fire, but you know what? It's a great day to be a Buckeye. That's one thing that's for sure.
Yep, got the commitment of one Jordan Thomas. We got to see it.
Yeah, I'll tell you, that kid. I watched the footage, TG, and man, he's good. I understand why Tim Walton was so high on this guy. Good size, good strength. He can play press. I gotta think that he's gonna be obviously an outside corner, but man, I feel like Tim Walton, and we discussed this a little bit, where we were a little concerned about what we had coming in corner wise initially. But you know what? I think this was a huge get for Tim Walton, and we have some really good young guys there right now. So I'm excited. And I was just talking with David. I'm sure you heard him. How can you fault right now what's going on with recruiting at Ohio State? Because they are just getting great kids, great talent. It's disturbing. And then we were just talking about Brock Boyd, who they got that kid ranked as a 3-star, and I'm going to tell you that is way too low. But Brian Hartline has put together a really nice room. Obviously the running backs, I think we're going to get 2 very good running backs in this in this cycle as well. So I don't know. I feel really good.
If you really want me to tell you about like the whole recruiting, because I listened to you guys talk about how they dropped some of our players basically in the rankings.
We call it the Buckeye effect, yes.
Yeah, but here's the thing though. I actually look at it as a good thing, because people can't just say Ohio State's only good because they get just 5-star talent at that point. Because I don't know if these recruiting sites realize it, but they know Ohio State's the best when it comes to development, and you dropping these kids in the ranking only helps Ohio State's argument.
It does make them look that much better. Yeah, it makes them look that much better. It makes our coaches look that much better. Makes our kids look that much better. Makes the program as a whole look better.
I mean, look at it. Chris Olave, 3-star. What happened? Taken in the top 15 draft. And look at how his NFL career has gone.
You can go all the way back to Nick Mangold, know?
Oh, yeah. Like, think about it, though. That's what I say. Like, is it irritating with some of these recruit sites because they clearly don't want us to have the number 1 class? Yeah. But here's the way to look at it if you're an Ohio State fan. Look at it as the silver lining, as it helps Ohio State's progress as development. Because they can't, again, these teams, these national sites, these media people can't just say Ohio State only gets 5 stars. Can't say that. Because according to all these recruit sites, they drop our guys down in the rankings. They make them look low. They play them so low. And then when they playing like out of their mind, and then they look stupid, because it's like you don't realize you're helping Ohio State's case, showing their greater development, showing that you guys don't know how to evaluate talent, for God's sakes, and always trust the Ohio State coaches as far as evaluating talent.
Right.
And it also helps with how many guys Ohio State gets drafted. Because remember, we had a bunch of guys from the 2024 team that weren't all 5-stars. A good majority of them, we had some 5-stars, but not all of them were. Some of them were 3-stars. Some of them were low, mid, or even high 4-stars. So, it shows you that Ohio State is really, really good at development. And I've even gone over the numbers about how Ohio State is actually the best at putting 3-stars in the NFL. Then you got Bama. You have a couple other teams up there. I think LSU was up there. I got to go back and check. But you have some really good teams up there as far as putting 3-stars. And the fact that Ohio State's number 1, they got Brock Boyd as a 3-star. Hey, give Brian Hartline another gold medal. That means he puts another 3-star in the NFL, and he becomes a first-round pick. So it really helps Brian Hartline's case.
Absolutely. So what else you got for us tonight, TG? I know that we've been heavy on the recruiting tonight, obviously, with the Thomas commit. We've talked a little bit about Caden Dixon-Wyatt. We've talked a little bit about potentially Tyler Atkinson coming in, a guy that's currently crystal ball to Georgia, but man, from what I've heard, he loves the Buckeyes. He loves Matt Patricia, loves James Laurinaitis.
Yep.
You know, I feel like this kid is going to be a Buckeye. I mean, you got anything else for us outside of recruiting, or you just want to keep talking recruiting? You want to talk about what's going on? Just bring it. Whatever you got.
Yeah, well, I will say this. I do think Tyler Atkinson will be a Buckeye. I have no doubts about that in my mind. The only way I can see he doesn't is if Georgia really can't persuade him. And again, they are the Homestar State, so it makes sense. But still, I think Ohio State's going to win that one. But the thing I do want to talk about, well, actually, I will bring up this one caveat. Hey, UFC fans, how about you shut up talking till you do something?
What was that?
I
I'm sorry, I missed that.
Chris, but I've actually I said for UFC fans, shut up and win something before you start talking. Whether you know it or not, I've actually been checking this out. Apparently, some of them have been running their mouth, and I'm like, especially about Ohio State, I'm like, shut up.
Yeah, you're gonna try to call out the Fury when you haven't done anything in what, a couple decades, and that was wiped out due to the whole Reggie Bush incident. I mean, come on, man. And this is the thing.
I mean, think about it.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. I think Lincoln Riley is a good coach. Is he elite? No, but he's a good coach. But that's a team that I think in Riley's tenure is very, very underperforming. How can you be out there? How can you have that kind of recruiting hotbed and perform at the level that you do?
Honestly, I don't even know why they're said. That's the only reason why USC fans are talking because of that hotbed thing. And I'm like, guys, you have underperformed with that level of talent. Now, I'm not going to lie. I don't know what.
TG, I'm sorry to interrupt. TG, can you hold on a second? I hate to interrupt. Can one of our wrenches take care of what's going on in the chat right now, please? We have a person who's kind of harassing Lacey in the chat here a little bit. If we could get that taken care of, I greatly appreciate that.
Lacey, just kick that guy off. Just kick him off.
Yeah,
if he's harassing you, kick him off.
All right. So sorry to interrupt, TG. Go ahead.
Yeah, no. Who was it that was harassing Lacey? Tell me right now. What's the name of this dude?
Well, I think
you right now for harassing Lacey.
Be nice. Be nice. We're gonna take care of it. I'm gonna see if I can't get in there, and in case Sean hasn't already, I think we may have it taken care of. I hope. Okay.
And let me make sure I kind of correct myself. When I mean the actual word, I mean kill you with words, not actually kill you.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like anybody who comes out the Lacey got to deal with me. So if I find out who it is, you're gonna wish I never knew. I promise you.
Yeah, Tyler, I don't know who that was.
Anyway,
anyhow.
Yeah, but by the way, anyway, for USC fans, it's like, no, I get this recruiter how bad you're on, but until you do something, shut up. And for some, a couple more days, because apparently the news keeps getting worse for them. As time keeps going on, the news just keeps getting worse.
You know, it's funny. This weekend, it was actually Mother's Day. I'm driving around in my car, and I'm listening to 97.1 The Fan out of Columbus, and they had the afternoon call-in show on, and their topic was, what would be the best job in all of sports? And it could be a job that existed or a job that was made up. And, you know, obviously I said, well, my dream job is doing what I do here on a regular basis every day, but getting paid for it. And that is just getting to sit around, talk Buckeye football, talk college football. If I could do that all day, write some articles, that would, of course, be my dream job. But I said, if you want to know what I really want to do, I was like, I want to be the person that lays the hammer down, that goes and tells the Loserine fans exactly what sanctions are coming, and then listens to them cry. That's what I wanted to do. And let me tell you something. I won myself a gift certificate to a dinner gift certificate for that because they liked it. So yeah, I'm with you. It's coming. It's not far off, TG. Less than a month. What is it, about
No, it's not.
3 weeks out? So
Mm-hmm.
I'm eager. I'm anxious. I'm really really just so psyched to find out what happens, because I'll tell you what, Burks, my friend, I see you're in the chat, but you know what? Just remember, you've always got a home if you decide to come over to the light side, man. We'll take you in, and we will get you squared around. We can help him with that, can't we, TG? We can get him straight, right?
Yeah, we can.
All right.
We can.
Oh, so what else you got for me?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie though. Like, I'm not gonna lie too. I'm actually excited. For once, there's actually something to like about the basketball team because they're actually making some moves.
Yeah, Debor, I think a lot of people were very discontent after last season, but you know what? I feel like you have to give the guy a chance. Give him a year or two.
With him because, like, I was a tick with him because, like I said, he's a first-time coach, guys. Give him a break. Give him like two years at least before you do something.
Yeah. Let him get his people, his program installed completely.
Mm-hmm.
And basketball is even worse than what college football is right now, because not only do you have to deal with the portal, not only do you have to deal with NIL, you also got to deal with one and done. It is hard to be a college basketball coach.
Absolutely.
And when you're talking about a premier university, and granted, we are a football school. We make no bones about that. We are a football school, but we still have high expectations for all of our programs. And
absolutely,
I'm not saying you got to go out and win a championship every 4 or 5 years in basketball, but you know what? You need to be competitive. You need to win the conference every now and then. You need to go out there and, make some noise in the NCAA tournament. And you know what? If you can get a championship along the way, that'd be great too. But you got to be out there.
You still need to win a championship because it's been how long?
Oh, before I was born. I think it was what, 60, right. Is it 64? Was that the last one?
Yeah,
62,
probably.
64,
I think
somewhere
so.
In that range.
And and the last time we had a chance to compete for one, I believe it was like 2007, right?
Yeah, the last time we had a shot was Conley and Oden, right? Pretty sure that was the year we played. Was it Florida?
Sucks.
Was it Florida we played in the finals that year?
It was either Florida or Kentucky.
Yeah. So
it's like, I love the basketball team. It was actually, and the thing is for Ohio State is they just don't, they know football is king, but they don't want to be known as just a football school. They want to be a sports school, which, hey, you're doing a good job of that. Like, you look at the swimming team, they won 19 national titles.
Oh, the synchronized swimming, that's something ridiculous. Then we got one of the best pistol teams in the country, and Olympic sports, we do very well.
Not gonna be in a sports school.
Here's the thing, though.
We do very well in Olympic sports, but I want to see us do better in all the sports, baseball included, basketball included. I want to see us do well in all of them. I'm not expecting all of them to go undefeated, but go compete for championships. I don't care.
Yeah, and here's the thing, TG, and I don't know what your take is on this. We do very well in Olympic sports, but how long in this new era of NIL and of revenue sharing are we going to be able to support Olympic sports?
I have no idea.
Because I have to feel that some of these programs, and they're going to start by cutting the ones that are not very productive, as far as the ones that are not winning titles. Some of them are going to have to go by the wayside, but eventually we're going to get to the point where we're cutting programs that may be title winning programs. But you know what?
Hope not, but they may get there.
You're going to get there, because it's going to cost, as we go on with the revenue sharing, as we go on with the NIL, as we go on with this new NFL light and unrestricted free agency, basically what we got going on right now among collegiate athletes, it's just going to get to a point where I think that football, men's basketball, I would have to think that the women's basketball, women's hockey, which is so successful as well, which those programs
they won national title. Well,
yeah, they've won.
The hockey team won national title.
What,
if I'm not mistaken.
two in the last 3 years or something like that.
Yeah, they went back to back on before. So it's like that's excellent. And the women's basketball teams had chances. Like they've exceeded.
Yeah, they're a good program.
Eventually they won.
And even though those two programs may not make a lot of money, I don't know how much money they actually lose, because I do think they draw a pretty good crowd. And then you look, was it the lacrosse team the other day that sold out their stadium because they were playing Notre Dame, sold out their 2,100 seat stadium, which is probably unheard of in lacrosse. But
pretty much.
But yeah, I mean, if your program isn't at least almost self-sufficient, maybe not making money, but isn't at least almost self-sufficient, I think you got to worry that there's a possibility that you're going to be on the chopping block. Maybe not now, maybe not a year from now, but I would say in the next 5 to 6 years, as this continues to snowball, unless they put some kind of limitations on it, I feel like some of these sports are going to end up having to go back to being club sports.
I think that's what is going to happen. They're going to be club sports more so than your actual sports. Which again, it's a bit upsetting. Like I don't like because I would have been fine with the NIL as long as you just put, like, I'm not going to say like a cap, but like a certain cap number on it where it's like you put some rules in place that would control it. But again, because the courts think it's unlawful, it really just puts these schools in a bind. So like doing the revenue sharing, I just think is a great idea. But then at the same time, you also have to think about, the consequence of that. So if you can make them club sports, that at least they can still be around, they can still compete for championships. It's just that, you don't have to pay nothing.
Right. And right now the revenue sharing, they're putting it at what, around $22 million, I think it is what the estimated player portion of that's going to be. And that's got to be dispensed among all your athletes in some manner. And that's another reason I think we'll see.
I kind of found funny?
Yeah, what's that?
You know what I found funny? Is like, I thought about it too. And remember how we talked about like how the roster could go up to 105? Because there has been talks that they may increase the number from 105. There's talks about that happening. But if that doesn't, I thought about it in this regard. They may not be part of the football team, but is there a chance Ohio State could use a football club as a way to as like a scout team in some sense?
It's where Xavier Johnson came from. He was on the club football before he came over to the team.
The reason but that's the whole thing though, is like, is there a possibility we can use the football club as scout team guys? Because we may not have enough depth pieces to do scout team, but is there a possibility we could use the football club as like scout team guys? Just for practice.
Yeah, and I think that's actually a great idea, TG, and I could see that happening. By the way, Dan, thank you for your $2 super chat. Really appreciate it. Hope you're still enjoying Miami. But yeah, I mean, I think it's something that we should take advantage of, because we are one of the schools that has an elite club football team to go along with our elite NCAA Division I competitive team. So
could
we see stipends? Could we see something like that? I don't know. I don't think you can give stipends to the club guys, but maybe you offer the club guys the scholarships, because you don't really need them necessarily for guys making NIL money.
Yeah.
There's I think there's options.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about this entire time. Because when they say we can use 105, and then it's like, schools are worried about the roster and how many players we don't have. But I'm like, is it for Ohio State? this, if you think about it correctly, you probably could use this football club as scout team guys. Use them in practice, and if you need extra bodies to like in case injury happens, you can, like you did before, what you did with Xavier Johnson, what you've done with a couple of other members of Ohio State's team, get them off the football club. Why not do that? I mean, you're pretty much the only school that actually have, I think, that advantage. Well, not the only school, but you're one of the very few schools that have that. And if you use that correctly, it can actually benefit you in the long term. It can actually, you won't fall off the gate like you did in practice. Like
Correct.
you won't have to worry about that because now you just have scouting guys from the football club. And not only that, there's benefits for that. Like you can get those guys scholarships. You can make something happen with those guys in a lot of ways. Like there's a lot of things you can do with that, and that's why I pretty much wanted to bring that up, is because it had me thinking about that entire time when they were talking about the 105 limit.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. Hey, I've got 5 in the queue right now, TG. Do you have any other parting shots before we go?
Yeah, let me say this. It's about the Urban Meyer take that I have. Remember when I put on y'all show?
Yes.
That, about how he would do at USC, like the current Urban, no, the past Urban, yes. Like past Urban, I think he would have done well at USC because he was a great coach before the mental stuff became a problem. Like that dude is an elite coach, no doubt about it. He's the type of guy who knows how to develop talent, send him into the NFL. He's done it at Florida. He's won 3 national titles in his career, 2 at Florida, 1 at Ohio State. Could have went back to back at both, but screwed up there.
Yeah.
But no, like he was a great coach. So no, absolutely, I think he can succeed, and he holds his programs to the highest standard. So at the end of the day, I think that Urban will work at USC. But the current Urban, no, because he has too many mental health problems right now. And with the current landscape, I don't think he'd be able to handle NIL with the current landscape. Like the past, he might have been able to, because we all know in the SEC, NIL was a thing before it was even legal. So just saying.
Yeah, I think back, and I'm gonna, let you go here after this, but I agree to some extent, because I feel like you look at some of the greatest coaches in the history of the game, and I think Urban definitely is among them. But Urban, you look at guys like Nick Saban, you look at guys like, go back to Woody Hayes. These were guys who were the grab the face mask, drag you around, smack you on the back of the helmet, put a boot up your backside type of coach. And this is what I was trying to explain last night. I don't think you can just do that anymore. I think today's player is much more of a diva. I think that the portal gives them an out anytime they don't like the way they're being treated, the way they're being talked to, the way they're being held accountable, the way they're being held to a higher standard.
Well, it depends on who you get.
A lot of it is.
Because I think Urban only the one guys who, I think Urban would do what Ryan Day does, which is get the guys that fit his culture instead of getting the guys that, forgive me when I say this, the guys that he would consider complete wusses.
But are there 105 guys out there that fit the culture, that fit the position right now? Are there 105 true old school tough guy football players, that would fit that mold right now? And I just don't know.
Well, we're saying there are some. It's just that it takes looking into them. It's kind of like you have to do like what you see with the NFL Combine, which is really get to know these players.
Yeah.
And if Urban Meyer deems them a fit for his culture, for his team, he's gonna bring them in. Yeah. And Urban doesn't care if you're a 5-star or not. Like Urban doesn't care. Like if you're gonna act like a whiny little punk, he's gonna tell you can get out. He will take a 3-star over 5 stars in today's day and age, because those are the ones that are willing to work hard compared to the 5 stars, which that is kind of sad in a lot of ways. Not all 5 stars, but most.
Yeah. Hey, all right. Appreciate
some of the high-rated guys that are like high 4 stars.
Yeah. So, hey, I appreciate the call, TG, but I got a lot in queue right now. Some of them have been waiting a half an hour, so I'm going to have to move on. Hey, you have a great night, TG. Thanks for calling.
You too, Chris. And by the way, Aaron and Brandon, yeah, the softball and volleyball teams are good too. Just letting you know.
They sure are. All right, OH.
All right. IO. Go Bucks. Bye, Chris.
Bye. That was TG. Hey, everybody, make sure you tune into TG and Sean tomorrow night, 8 o'clock in the Buckeye Lounge, right here on the OHIO Podcast Network. I'm not sure what they got going tomorrow night, but let me tell you, if you haven't watched their shows, they've had some great interviews. Had RJ Day on, I believe it was last week, if I'm not mistaken. So these guys, they really do a great job. $1.99 super chat from the Speed Man. Boom, what up, my fellow Bucknuts? Let's go, Bucks. Yeah, we sure did have a boom today in the form of one Jordan Thomas, Speed Man. So we're really, really excited about that. Not only that, but I'm really, really excited to pick up the next call. Tyler, my man, what's happening?
Nothing much, Chris. Nothing much.
Oh, so what's a good word tonight, Tyler?
I've been thinking, Chris. I want to. The more we wait these next 25 days, every day I'm gonna wake up with the smile is getting bigger and bigger and bigger on my face.
Yeah.
Because I know Michigan fans, they're looking under their bed, they're looking in the closet. They're like, you know what, Chris? I want them to sleep for the next 25 days. I want them to sleep well at night. I want them to enjoy these last 25 days as much as possible, because from that point on, it's over. It's done with.
Yeah.
So honestly, it's, in a way, it's kind of been these next over 3 weeks, I think, is an early funeral for Michigan. It's an early funeral because on June 6th and June 7th, we might be attending a funeral, Chris. And the whole fan base for Michigan, it's going to be, they're going to cry. The tears are going to be rolling down their cheeks. They're going to be, I want them to enjoy these 25 days they have and cherish them, Chris.
Yeah.
Because this is the last bit of happiness they'll ever see as a program.
I can't say it's the last bit of happiness that they'll ever see. But Tyler, I'm with you on this. I think for many of these fans, especially your older fans, my age and up, for them it may be the last time they see a Wolverines team that is significant. If you look, it was what, 80, 83, 84 when SMU caught the death penalty for, by the way,
85.
much less. Well, I think it was adjudicated in 84. They were penalized. The first year was 85, right? The year they actually had to sit out with no football. But
Yep.
you think about that. They were hit very hard for much, much less. Yes, they were paying players, but what Michigan has done is so next level. I don't know that that the NCAA has the guts to give them what they deserve, which is a full-on version of the death penalty that we saw that SMU received. Only maybe a little harsher. And I don't know that the NCAA has the stones to dish that out.
You know what?
But I will say this. If they do, this, you look at how long it's been. SMU finally just became relevant again in the last few years. You're talking that crippled their program for over 3 decades. And that,
I got a serious question.
yeah.
So, why exactly, if we just look at it from a bird's eye view, right?
Okay.
If we look in retrospect,
Mhm.
SMU getting the death penalty, do you think they really should have gotten it
Yes.
in comparison to Michigan?
Oh, I agree. Yeah, that their penalty was less, or their offense was less than what Michigan did. But at the same time, and guys, anybody who's been watching this show or heard my take on this for any length of time knows that I am all about the rules are the rules. If you break them, you suffer the consequences, and the most severe consequences imaginable. That is firmly my belief. When Tattoo Gate went down, not only have I still never forgiven those players, but I am fully in favor of them being sanctioned. And that was my favorite team that I was in favor of that for, because that's the standard that I expect. And I expect every school to have that standard. So when SMU was paying players, absolutely they should have been treated as harshly as they were. When Reggie Bush took money, yes, USC should have vacated wins. They should have vacated a national title. They should have taken his Heisman away, and they shouldn't have given it back. When you could go back to Miami, all the sanctions they caught back in the 80s and early 90s. Yes, they deserved everything they got and maybe more. So while none of that is near the severity of what you've got from the Loserines, I 100% was in favor of all of those sanctions taking place prior. And that's why I'm so in favor of an absolute death penalty being handed out to scum. It's what they deserve.
Because I've been thinking today, Chris, and if you think about all those punishments where SMU and Tattoo Gate and USC, they all have something in common. They all pay players. Michigan, you didn't pay no players. What excuse do you have?
Well, here's the thing. And Tattoo Gate was not about paying players. Tattoo Gate was about trading.
Players.
It was about trading merch for services. So I'm not going to go on record as saying that Tattoo Gate was near the pay for play thing, because the pay for play, was, I believe, absolutely horrid and worthy of death penalty. If you look at, and Boston Buckeye brings this up, Penn State. Penn State was, and while most of it was off the field, was perhaps one of the biggest scandals ever in not just college sports, but sports in general. And I believe that they handled that appropriately.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why I'm going to take this a step further and say, and a lot of people argue with me on this, and it took me a long time to come around to this. TG convinced me of this, and I think she's right. At this point, the Michigan scandal, given everything that's gone on, going back to Cheeseburger Gate, going back to the illegal recruiting, going back to the cheating scandal. You include the guy who's trying to hook up with underage girls at the Walmart parking lot. The coach there. Yeah, you go on to Matt Weiss and his creepy thing that he's got going on. You tie in all the cover up on the part of the coaching staff, the universities, and more and more as I hear it, I'm finding a hard time believing. As smart as everybody keeps telling me the Michigan people and the Michigan players are, I got a hell of a hard time believing at this time that the players, at least some of them, didn't have an idea of what was going on.
Oh, I guarantee you.
Now, I can't prove that. I can't prove that. But as smart as Michigan likes to say their players are, I think it's a safe assumption. That being said, I truly believe that the Michigan scandal has surpassed the Penn State scandal as the worst scandal in all of college sports. Given the large scope and nature of it, I believe it has surpassed. And yes, I understand what they're going to say, what people will say about the nature of the Penn State scandal, and they're not wrong. But if you look at the volume of victims in the Matt Weiss scandal, if you look at the nature of what happened with the guy trying to meet up with the underage girls, if you look at the on-field cheating that went on, this is now the most heinous scandal, start to finish, if you lump it as one scandal, and I do because it was this has been an ongoing, continuing action scandal. This is the worst scandal in sports history. Book it. Worse than Penn State, worse than the Black Sox. Because, we may even find that there's gambling tied into this, as has been speculated. So, guys, I mean, I can't say that it's anything less than the worst scandal in all of college sports, all sports history completely.
Now, Chris, for epiphany I just thought of today with this. So, with all these common, with all these other scandals that involve, trading commerce, with Tattoo Gate, with Reggie Bush, with buying his parents a house, and SMU, Tennessee, all these ones, guess what? They all have one thing in common. It all involves money. Michigan has, and here's another reason why I think this is the worst penalty of all time. When I hear the death penalty, I legitimately think of, you have to do something extremely heinous. You have to do something absolutely disgusting as a program.
Yeah.
So, so SMU, I honestly think they don't need a death penalty. They really didn't. I really think that they were at the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah.
At wrong. Michigan and Penn State definitely deserve the death penalty.
Yeah.
Michigan, you are the worst program of all time.
Yeah. Hey, Tyler, hold on a second. 740-637. You were next in queue. If you give me a call back in, I will be happy to get you on. Sorry for the long wait. We've had a lot of people on tonight. So, just if you want to call back in, I'll get you in next. But yeah, Tyler, anything else on your mind tonight, man?
All I got to say is, Chris, when I hear the death penalty, I don't think of SMU ever.
Yeah.
So whenever I hear the death penalty, I'm honestly going to not think of them at all. I'm going to think of Michigan from this point on.
Yeah.
Because you know why? They've actually done stuff that actually is harming people. SMU did not harm people. Michigan put people's lives in jeopardy.
Yeah. Guys in the chat, can we please keep it civil in the chat? All right, go ahead.
Yes. Keep it civil. And I mean thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people's lives in jeopardy, Chris. So SMU, I honestly think you don't deserve the death penalty. You were just at the wrong place at the wrong time. Michigan, you are, without a shadow of a doubt, the worst program of all time.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's all I got to say, Chris.
All right, Tyler, I'm going to hop on to my next caller. You have a great night. OH.
IO.
Go Bucks. Okay, so next up we have, looks like we might have Speedman coming up here next. After that, we do have some lines open, so if anybody would like to give us a call, go ahead. Numbers scrolling across the bottom of the screen. We'll keep going as long as you keep talking. So who's calling in tonight, Speedman?
How you doing, Bobby? This is Butthead.
Hi, I'm the Great Cornholer. Sorry, man. That's all you get. That's
right,
Davis.
Hey, how you doing? Hey, how's that, Bobby?
What's that?
I said, how you doing, man?
Oh man, I'm doing great, man. We're stacking up recruits like we're going out of business. We're less than a month away from Michigan getting the smack laid down on them. You know, I'm a week and a half away from being out of school for the summer. I got things going on. I'm excited. Life is good right now.
Well, brother, I always believe you have a lot of good things going on, man.
Well, and I'll tell you, Eric and I going to start ironing out our summer tour. So that's exciting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna try to take at least a few weeks or a few weekends or a weekend or two a month, I should say, over the course of the next 3-4 months, and get out there and try to get our name out. Which reminds me, guys, this is a good time to please request that hey, I don't care what platform you're watching on, whether it's Facebook, X, Rumble, Facebook or YouTube. There you go. I almost forgot the big one. No matter what it is, please go on and make sure you like, subscribe, ding that little bell, and guys, please share this podcast and all the podcasts on the OHIO network, which include my talk show, Eric's talk show, our weekend roundtable, and of course the Buckeye Lounge on Tuesday nights. Make sure we're sharing those with all your friends. Let's get this out to as many people as possible. Anyhow, so yeah, Speed, I'm telling you, it's great. I'm just really excited about all this.
Oh, absolutely, man. Of course, you guys always have an open invite to come down here. I would absolutely love to meet you guys.
Well, and I'll tell you, I'd love to get down to Southern Ohio. Like I said, that's family stomping grounds down there. So I haven't been down to Rio in a while. So,
well, where the hospitality is, brother.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. So, anything big on your mind tonight as far as the team goes, as far as the scum goes, as far as recruiting goes? Anything special out there?
Well, you know me. I have nothing to say about scum.
And that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah, and dude, I tell you, I'm so proud of you and stuff like that. You've not given into the trolls here lately and all that. And brother, that's the way to shut them down.
Well, here's my take on this. At this point, I'm pretty sure that everybody, myself, Eric, TG, Sean, Corey, JR, all the people that listen to us and support us, all of Buckeye Nation, we are all completely sick and tired of hearing about the scum. Although I will say, the next time somebody looks at me and says 13-10, they may catch a forearm. I'm not going to lie to you. They may catch a forearm. But that being said, when cheating is just this clear and this brazen, and it's the kind of cheating that full on affects the competition, what's happening on the field, it's not the kind that just leads to, we talked about some of these others, tattoos. It's not the kind of thing that leads to some kid getting a house. It's not even the whole mess with some kids getting cheeseburgers at this point. What happened affected the outcome of games on the field. It affected coaches' careers. It affected players' careers. And I am going to be so happy when the NCAA finally comes down in less than a month, decimates this program, and we can all, as football fans, not just Ohio State fans, not just as Big Ten fans, but all college football fans, can put that mockery of a asterisk champion behind us and never think about them again. Because that's really, I think, what could potentially happen. They could be sanctioned so much that we never, ever think about them again. I'm telling you, Northwestern may be more competitive by the time this is all said and done.
They very well may be. And I agree that the potential is there. Whether or not the NCAA will come down and bestow the harshest penalty on them that may be deserved, with people taking stuff to the courts and all that, I think that they're going to be very selective on their punishment, even though we all know it should be the most severe. Like you said, people's careers were affected, not just the coaches, but the players and this, that, and the other.
Well, you can even extend it to NFL general managers and coaches that are affected by this because they drafted kids who they thought were better than they were.
Yep.
TG throws this out there all the time. And TG, I'm sorry if I don't have the number exactly right because I'm old, I'm senile, and I forget things. But out of that class where they had what was it 16 they had drafted from that asterisk champion team? I think there's 3 or 4 left in the league right now.
Yeah, that's Hutchinson, Sandersville, maybe. There's not many at all. Let's just look at the facts.
And when people see how bad J.J. McCarthy really is in Minnesota, I don't see him long for this world either. He might hang around as a few years as a backup, but I just don't see him he's not an NFL starter.
Yeah, I see him in the Unified Football League or whatever here within the next 4 years. I might be wrong, but you never know. But let's get back to the Buckeyes.
Yeah, let's get back to why we're here.
Yeah, let's get back to what we love. Just so proud of our recruiting and everything. Oh my gosh. People say we paid this, that, and the other. You know what? They're just mad because now we can do what the SEC has been doing for decades.
But we're doing it legally.
Yeah, we're doing it legally now, but they were doing it illegally for so long, and they said, "Oh, SEC, it just means more." Nah, it just pays more. I'm telling you, brother. With the church thing Florida State and the ACC, we know what it's about. Now that we are able to pay our players, just like they have been illegally for decades, all of a sudden, wow, look at that. National champion. Yeah.
Yeah, let's call it what it is. And here's the thing. I have a problem giving any credit to what happened the year prior to the Buckeyes championship. But I will say this. The SEC has not competed for the national title in the last 2 seasons. There is a paradigm shift happening right now. And it is directly related to what you are talking about. And as I think about this, I don't know if you look, obviously we have changed the structure to where we can also play players or pay players. We have in Ohio, we talked about this a little bit last night. There are rule changes, such as Ohio being able to is now competing in 7-on-7, which is going to give our kids a chance to compete more year round and have better opportunity to enhance their talent. So now we're developing more kids at a higher level right here at home. That's going to help us. I'm going to say it, and it's going to be something that's not a popular thought. But you know what? Without Nick Saban, the SEC is average over the course of the last 20 years. It is average without Nick Saban.
I tell you what, I can definitely agree with you.
You cannot argue that guy is one of the greatest coaches in college football history. I may not like him, but the fact is, without Nick Saban going out there and winning, what was it, 6 titles in 13 years, I think it was, 14 years, whatever it was. Without him doing that, the SEC is average. Because after you had Urban leave, Nick Saban was the only elite coach in the SEC. After Urban leaves Florida, takes the year off, comes to Ohio State, Saban is the only elite coach left in the SEC. And then
wait a minute.
People will argue Kirby. But I'm going to tell you right now, I don't know how elite he really is. Because while I think he is a X's and O's guy, I think he's good coaching the X's and O's. I think there's a serious culture problem at Georgia, and that lands squarely on his shoulders. When you have a team with more arrests than victories over the course of the last 2 years, you have a culture problem. Especially a program as successful as Georgia.
Yeah. I was just thinking the exact same thing, brother. But I tell you what, I want to bring up one name, whatever, the SEC, who was dominant. Well, kinda is my boy Ed Orgeron. Come on, you gotta like the way that guy talks.
I could not stand Coach O. I couldn't. I absolutely despised that man. But you bring up Coach O. Let's talk about LSU, which outside of Alabama may have been one of the best programs in the SEC. In fact, if not for Nick Saban, they may have been the best program in the SEC over that stretch. You talk about a team that, 3 national titles, with 3 different head coaches, very much the same way the Buckeyes did it. And in an era where Nick Saban dominated. But that goes, I think, a lot to show, that they had some decent coaches, but also that talks about the nature of the talent that is in Alabama. Or I'm sorry, not Alabama, Louisiana. Louisiana they were very good at LSU at keeping their kids in state. And, you know, I think it says a lot about the talent, the football talent down there. So I think if you don't have Nick Saban down there, and of course, let's not forget, Nick Saban was at LSU at one time.
Oh
But,
yeah.
yeah, I mean, you look at LSU, and if Saban doesn't go to Alabama, LSU may be the program that runs the SEC during that time.
Yeah, well, remember, Saban went to the Miami Dolphins after LSU or whatever, had that little
He
NFL
did,
stint,
and he
and
proved
did
that,
not work out.
well, like Spurrier, like Urban, you know, he proved that great college coaches don't always translate to great pro coaches. And that's why I made my argument on our show last night that, you know, when somebody said they were worried about Urban going to USC, and I said I wasn't sure how well he would do in this era. We are in an era of NFL light right now. And if you look at that, guys like Urban, guys like Spurrier, guys like Saban, uh, they didn't thrive in that NFL environment. And that leads me to think that I don't know that they would thrive well right now in today's college football. Because,
I will
yeah,
say that I tend to agree with that wholeheartedly, brother. Um, you know, it's just a different ball game with NIL and all that, and I think that there's a balance somewhere that a head coach needs to uh, be in, if you will, to be able to. I don't know if it's necessarily control per se, but to be able to command the respect and all that, and still get all the development out of the players that they need to do. And I think Ohio State does a great job at that as far as the development. Because say, yeah, you might be able to get 7-digit figures or whatever at college level, but you need to develop. You need to be able to be coachable. There's lots, I think, that is still within the control and the realm of college football that can help these kids develop not only physically on the field or anything like that, but also mentally and financially to go to the next level.
yeah, yeah. And you know, I'm telling you, here's the thing. I'm a football purist, so a lot of the stuff that's been going on over the course of the last few years, um, NIL, the transfer portal, uh, the extended or expanded playoffs, it's all bothered me. It's all bothered me a lot. Now, don't get me wrong. Ohio State, without a doubt, benefited from the expanded playoff last year. No doubt. And I think as you look forward or move forward, Ohio State is almost a lock every year, I think, to get into the playoff. Um, but at the same time, I've struggled with where college football is going. But I also realize there's really nothing we can do about it. So we might as well just buckle up and enjoy the ride. And that's exactly what I've been doing this year with this national title. Um, I was a little on the edge after that Michigan loss. I'm not gonna lie. I was hanging on by a thin thread. But at the same time, you know, I, I've accepted. I've moved on. I've gotten into, before it was all about the game. It was all about the game. If you didn't win the game, you didn't deserve to go any further. That's the era I grew up in. But it's not the same era of football. And honestly, with what the scum have done to really taint the rivalry, to uh what they've done to disgrace the rivalry. I'm not going to say completely that I look at it as just another game, but between what they've done to disgrace it and the fact that we don't need it anymore, it almost kind of is just another game. And if the New England Patriots, during their run were to lose a game to the Buffalo Bills or the New York Jets or whoever in their division that was considered a rival, that didn't make their championships tainted. It didn't make them anything less. And that's where we're at now, guys. We're at the point where, and I don't want to say it like this because I don't believe it, but so what if you lose to Michigan? Because we don't need it anymore. So I think I have grown a lot from the time that Michigan game ended because, as a lot of people will remember, I was a bit unhinged. I'm sure you remember, Speed. I was a little unhinged after that game.
Not you.
I may have been that lunatic fringe that Kirk was, or that Herbie was talking about. I may have been right at the front of that mob. Well, that's not true because I would never sink to the level of talking trash to a coach's family or threatening somebody over a football game. I would never sink to that level. But I was in, let's call it what it was. I was in the Fire Ryan Day camp, and I was wrong. And I'm man enough to come out here and admit that I was wrong. But yeah, I mean, I've completely changed the way I've thought about things since all this has happened. But anyhow, if you don't have anything else, Speed, I'm gonna let you go. We've got it looks like we might have 2 more callers on, and if anybody else wants to get in, we'll let you get in. But hey, you have a good night, Speed.
Hey, you too, brother. And I just want to tell you, today is my actual birthday. Not that I
Well, happy birthday
at this age or anything like that, or anything like that. But I just wanted to stop in real quick and hang out with some of my fellow bucknuts and yourself. And also wanted to wish Happy Mother's Day belated to all the moms out there. Because Lord knows we would not be the men that we are without them.
Absolutely.
But anyways, just wanted to say thanks for always having us on here. Love the OHIO podcast. And you and Eric are the bomb as far as I'm concerned. And just don't let it go to your head, brother, okay?
Oh, you know what? I don't think my ego could get any more swollen than it is right now. I truly love myself.
Yeah. No. And that's truly one of the reasons why I love watching you guys and participating in all that. Sometimes it's a self-deprecating humor and all that. Something just, you guys are just down to earth, man. And I appreciate it.
We try to be, and Speed, we will definitely let you know. Hopefully, we really want to try to get down to Southern Ohio. We haven't been down there since the last time we were down there with the Alumni Club of Marietta. So that is kind of our goal, to make it down south at some point here this summer. And we will definitely let you know if we head down that way.
Yes, sir.
All right. You have a happy birthday, and OH, my man.
Thank you, brother. We'll talk to you soon.
You too. All right, guys, we've got one in queue, and I am imploring everyone to be nice. As we welcome, there's another one that is in queue right behind there as well. So we will get to that one here shortly as well. But I know this number. How's South Beach,
Well,
my
then,
dude?
what's going on, my guy?
How's South Beach?
South Beach is amazing, and as you know, your buddy Dan's calling in from the 305, the home of the University of Miami. How are we doing tonight, my guy?
Well, you made me want to vomit by mentioning the University of Miami, but other than that, Now, and that's kind of funny because let me tell you, at one time, I've always been an Ohio State fan, but I'm also a big Cleveland Browns fan. And having lived up in Northeast Ohio for a long time, I was also a big Bernie Kosar fan. As you know, Bernie Kosar came out of the University of Miami. I believe he
Well, he
came
was
out.
the quarterback of the Cleveland Browns, wasn't he?
He was also the quarterback of the Cleveland Browns. But there was a time where, man, it could have been argued that the University of Miami was QBU because they had that stretch there where Jim Kelly, Kosar, Vinny Testaverde. Yeah, they had a nice little run of quarterbacks there at one time.
But I will tell you this, Chris. Dealing with the girlfriend in Miami is always a treat. And I'll tell you what, the girlfriend has been treating me right. She just got back from getting some stuff for her house that I just helped her unload. But I gotta help her out once in a while. And don't worry, she's still making me the most delicious milkshakes I had ever tasted. And she even makes the best banana cream pies too. She's a little bit of a baker.
Dan, we got to see some pictures, man. We got to see some pictures. You can drop them to the old OHIO podcast email. I know Eric's been excited, waiting to see pictures. We need to see some pictures of South Beach.
Hold
Beach.
on, Chris.
We need to see some pictures of the girlfriend. What's up?
Now, Chris, I will tell you this. Did you hear 725? You'll be seeing a lot more of what's been going on with the last couple of weeks. So be patient, my friend. Be patient.
Patience is not my strength.
Well, I'll make sure to pray that it's a strength of yours to grow. But I'll tell you what, Burks, I did watch the chat, and I did see Burks absolutely lose his mind. Hey, Burks, just here's a little piece of advice for you, buddy. Maybe get a girlfriend like I did. Relax a little bit. Still, just relax.
Well,
just set your feet back and relax.
Now wait a minute, Gabe. Let's be fair, because Burks probably feeling a little bit stressed right now. He has been said, we've said it before, perhaps one of the most realistic Luzerne fans that are out there. He fully admits that the cheating scandal occurred. He doesn't think anything's going to happen, and I think what's going on right now is, it's like a few years ago I had a stroke, and it forced me to come to grips with my own mortality. I think right now that's what's going through the lives of several Michigan fans is they see that date of June 6th, June 7th looming, and they're being forced to come to grips with their program's mortality. They know exactly what is going to happen. They just can't admit it to themselves.
I'm sorry, Chris, but I just thought I saw somebody's car go by their house, but so I will say this, Chris. Being with the girlfriend in Miami has been just a treat. I needed this, honestly. I needed this. I needed just a couple of weeks away. And then when she called me, I was like, no way. Let me just call off work for a couple of weeks. So I did. And I'm here in Miami.
Wait a minute. Did you just say you called off work for a couple of weeks?
Yeah, I made my time extra. So
okay. So you didn't actually call off work. You took some personal time, or you took vacation or whatever, right? You didn't call in sick for 2 weeks.
I tell you, listen, I have vacation time already, so I mean, I've got spare vacation time in case if I got something going on. So,
But
listen,
you didn't actually call in sick for
got-
2 weeks, because that would just be ridiculous to call in sick for 2 weeks and then pop up on a radio show from Miami.
Chris, I told work that I was going to be away for 2 weeks
Okay.
for this vacation, Chris.
Okay.
And they already know that I'm already here. And plus, I work second to third shift, so I'm working from like 3:30, like 3 p.m. till like midnight, so like almost like 1 o'clock in the morning. So I'm working extra, plus pay rate's pretty good, $25 an hour.
Okay. Well,
But I will tell you this, Chris, you need to look on OSU's recruiting page, because there's two brothers that play strong safety and cornerback that Ohio State's possibly looking into recruiting out of Milford Center, Ohio, out of a D2 high school. And speaking of strong safeties, I will tell you the one brother resembles two Hall of Famers. Well, one about to go into the Hall of Fame. The one safety, or the one brother, resembles, Sean Taylor and Cam Chester. He's silent like Sean, doesn't really say much, but I tell you what, when you get him on the football field, he can hit you harder than 1,000 flying bricks. I'm telling you, truth be told. And then the other brother is like Weapon X, Brian Dawkins. So I'll tell you what, Chris, keep an eye out for Ohio State's defensive recruiting, because it's really going to be up. It's going to be really turned up about, I'd say, about 14 notches with those two guys really on that team. So I'm just saying, Chris, just keep your eyes open for that.
all right, we'll do
And I
that.
can give you the brothers' names if you want.
Go ahead, lay it on us.
So the two brothers are, the one brother is Reese, spelled R-E-C or R-E-E-C-E, Phelps. And then the other brother is Cooper, P-H-E-L-P-S, Cooper Phelps. Keep your eyes open on those two boys, because I will tell you what, those two guys, Ohio State is overlooking those two, but I heard Coach Day has got his eyes on both brothers, so I would be surprised if Coach Day gets two local Ohio kids from outside of Columbus to come play for OSU football.
And what year are these guys in, Caden?
I believe 28 or 29. I'd have to double check, but I know it's 28 or 29.
So these guys are a couple of freshmen right now, and you're already making comparisons to Sean Taylor and Brian Dawkins. That's bold.
You should see both brothers hit a receiver over the middle. I mean, seriously, I've seen the guy play. Both brothers play. I mean, just absolute studs.
Okay. Well, Eric and I do like to get out and watch some high school football, so maybe we'll have the opportunity to see these guys.
But I will just tell you what, if they get recruited to Ohio State, or even if they get offers from like Georgia or Oregon, I'm telling you, they're going to be unstoppable, even if they're together or one of them's at a separate school or the others, But but I'm just going to warn the world of college football: beware of the Phelps twins, because those boys will wreak havoc. And how do I know personally? I might know them personally, just saying. But I will just say, keep your eyes open. I don't even know why my radio's playing. Hey, shut that thing off. But Chris, I figured I'd just call on in. And first, just so you know, I haven't posted on YouTube for like the last couple of weeks, ever since the Unsanctioned show. So I mean, I'm just calling it on in as a regular friend, buddy. I mean, come on, what's your daggone problem with me? Come on now.
All right, man. Well, hey, Dan, you enjoy the sun rays down there. Try to keep yourself out of trouble. And again, we need to see some pictures, man. We need to see some pictures. See that Miami sunset, all right?
Well, I'll just tell you this, Chris. Just be patient, and I'll tell you what, you'll maybe get a few here and there, but that's if you can stay patient. But if you can't, you ain't going to get them.
Okay, well, we will talk to you later, Dan. You enjoy the rest of your vacation. OH, buddy.
And go to the University of Miami.
Oh, let me tell you, I got another caller in queue, but I got to decompress for a minute, man. Dan, buddy, Dan, I don't know what to say at this point. Chat, and Lee, you're 100% right. I definitely need to be cautious. What are we making of this at this point now? Yeah, Steely, I'm not 100% sure, buddy. I'm not sure if he switched allegiances again. I mean, a couple of weeks ago, he was a British guy who liked the Luzerines. I don't know. But he is always entertaining. But Mello, I could have done without this. Bud, great to see you in the chat. But I'm not sure what kind of pictures Steely's sending you. But man, I'm telling you, I'm a little frightened. A little frightened too that hey, we're liable to be getting some pictures of I'm not sure. Maybe maybe it's going to be Photoshop. Maybe it's going to be an actual Miami sunset. I don't know. Maybe it's going to be M's with a Barbie. I have no idea. Dan is just leaving us all wondering at this point. All right, guys, we're going to roll the next caller up on the air, and this is one of the co-hosts of the Buckeye Lounge, which you can catch here on Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. right here on the OHIO Podcast Network. Shrock, buddy, what's up?
What's going on, brother?
What's that? You know what? We were rolling. We were having some really good calls, and I'm not sure where exactly I lost control. It might have been when I dropped my headset trying to be Beavis. It was definitely by the time that our buddy Dan called in from, he says Miami, with his girlfriend who makes him the best milkshakes. I have no idea, Sean. You gotta redeem him. You gotta redeem the show. You gotta bring it back for us. And then I got Mello talking about whatever Steely's sending him, and this is frightening to me. I'm not sure what kind of thing these guys got going on, but don't want to know. Someone said Steely picks, not me. Okay.
I know what it is.
I don't think I want to know, do I? Are there shots of naked Wolverines or something?
What happened is the other night, let's just say on Twitter, a little war of words, between Steely and Wolverine podcaster, going back and forth, and this guy sent Steely a picture of himself flexing in a mirror shirtless at like midnight. I mean, I think that's a little weird, but if he's into that, that's so be it. But
so let me get this straight.
Judge, but
Steely, some dude sent you a picture of himself flexing in a mirror, shirtless.
He's a Michigan podcaster.
Ooh.
He's part of the Bozo Brigade.
Don't even know what to do with that.
Yeah.
Just one more reason to be glad you're a Buckeye fan, I guess, right?
Exactly. I mean, one thing I got some advice for Diesel Dan. One, we broke the Hurricanes back in 2002. Out in the desert. That's when the U died. Two, you shouldn't be in here running your mouth to Burks because Burks beat you like you stole something. And he took you to school and you think you would learn. You just, go recuperate with your CPR doll that's on the beach or, pull up doll, whatever she has. I'm just wondering if she's half girlfriend, half wrath. That's why he takes her to the beach, because, he probably couldn't find floaties big enough, for the ocean out there. So
I don't want to know what
I
he's doing
mean,
with that air
probably.
intake if that's the case.
Oh, Chris. One thing we learned tonight, though, I don't know if you caught scoop, but Justin Spiro was on, the great Justin Spiro.
I did not have a chance
And
to. I was out until just before I came on tonight. So
you get a chance, go watch it. It's very educational, and he brought up how Michigan's got the most violations by any school. I mean, their football program,
which we knew.
Not even close. I mean, other schools, you could combine all their programs and they still wouldn't as much as what Michigan has had. And what I find kind of sad is a lot of those guys don't care. They just, you're a disgrace of college football. I mean, you guys are a laughing stock. Nobody respects your natty except you guys. It's a joke.
And I've noticed that the fan base just keeps doubling down. Now, first of all, let me say this. It's the vocal minority that keeps doubling down, because like our buddy Burks, who has kind of stayed back in the weeds, he's going on to shows, he's chatting a little bit, but he's not actually being quite as vocal. And I've always said Burks is a realist. He understands the kind of trouble they're in. I don't think he fully understands or fully believes that the NCAA is capable of really doing what I think is coming. But I assure you they are. But for the most part, their media, their vocal minority of fans, has doubled down on everything at this point. They, instead of steadily just trying to acclimate themselves to what is coming. And Burke says no, he's fully aware of what's coming now. And I believe him, because I believe he's one of the more realistic Michigan fans, and more rational. But most of these guys are doubling down with more excuses, more deflection, more, just absurdity and lies, and more chaotic behavior, apparently. So
you know what they're doing, Chris, is they're shining up their cards. They're getting their cards ready to pull. They're going to pull the victim card out.
Well, that's what they do.
Smacked and they're all crying. They overreached. They punished us bad because we're Michigan. No, you get punished bad because you guys were a bunch of morons. We got caught cheating. Instead of admitting what you did, you guys not only gave the double birds to the NCAA, you guys lied. You covered stuff up. You didn't cooperate. You hindered You hindered their investigation a couple of times, not once, but a couple of times. One of your coaches even got fired for it. But just like, it still amazes me. They still think nothing's going to happen, or if something happens, it's going to be something small. If it was going to be something small, like a fine, a loss of scholarships, it'd have been over by now. You guys would have freaking, got it settled. You would have taken it all the way this far. And I want to burst these Michigan fans' bubble. They say, we're going to take it to court. We'll take it to the court. Well, guess what, guys? You can't take it to court unless the NCAA breaks the bylaw. Because when you're a member of the NCAA, like Michigan is, Ohio State is, every college team is, you agree to the rules, their bylaws. And in that, they are the judge, jury, and executioner to all the infractions So you got to obey by them. They come up with the punishments, and you have to obey by it. So you don't have a legal leg to stand on in court unless they break a bylaw. And I think the NCAA has been taking their time and make sure that they do everything by the book. They even gave them the extension so they couldn't cry that they weren't given extensions because they need more time.
Yeah.
They're going to get nailed. It's going to be hilarious.
And you're right. It is. They are going to get nailed. It is going to be hilarious. But let me tell you right now, if they pull the victim card, and they will,
you know what's coming, Chris.
My response to that is I don't want to hear about victims from a program that victimized coaches, players, NFL staffers,
Children.
female athletes, children. You've got a guy on trial right now, or going on trial soon, who has been investigated by the FBI for hacking into what is it now, 1,500 accounts or something like that, and getting pictures of these female athletes. You want to talk about victims?
I'm trying to blackmail.
They're victims. You got a coach who's no longer with the program, but you had a coach who tried to hook up with an underage girl in a Walmart parking lot. That girl is a victim. You had coaches lose their jobs because of your cheating scandal, both on your side and opposing coaches because of what the cheating did. They are victims. You had players who lost draft capital. Their draft position dropped while the draft capital of the people who benefited from the cheating went up. They are victims. Michigan football fans, you are not victims. You are complicit in this because you did not hold your program to a higher standard. Your administrators did not hold their program or their university to a higher standard. They are not victims. You are not victims. The people who suffered from this cheating scandal are victims. And you know what? The college football world, the sports world, the fans of college football, they are victims from what you perpetrated. You don't get to play the victim card. You lost that right.
Well, let's not forget about the NFL GMs who drafted those Michigan
Absolutely.
players too.
Absolutely.
The scouts. I mean, look what happened to Minter and Harbaugh, this year when they played CJ, when there was no Connor Stallions to give them the plays. What did CJ do to him? All I heard from a couple of Michigan podcasters, look at Jesse Minter, look at Harbaugh. One guy even called Harbaugh the GOAT. So he was the GOAT of coaches.
Oh, he's an animal, but I'm thinking more like a jackass, not a goat.
I mean, you got to stop drinking that. You got to stop mixing your Kool-Aid with the water from Flint because it's giving you brain damage. I mean, seriously, stop doing that. Stop drinking the water from Flint. I mean, move out of Michigan. I mean, it smells like hot dog water up there anyway, so.
Chris,
it's just.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. It's not unbelievable the things that people come up with. It's really unbelievable what people will believe. I mean, it's just like Justin Spiro brought up. He goes, I pointed out that that's Connor Stallions on the sideline of the CMU game against Michigan State. People not only attacked him and said, not only is that not Connor Stallions, but it doesn't look like him. You're stupid for thinking that. It's like, I mean, you can't make this stuff up, man. I mean, it's crazy, the stuff that they come up with. And anything that their media says, they go and they believe it. Harbaugh signing the extension.
I got a problem with what you just said, Sean. I got to mention this. I got a problem with what you just said. You cannot call them media.
What's that?
You cannot call them media. They are paid commentators.
Oh, you're right.
Because
have
real
some
media
journalistic
reports facts.
integrity.
Real media reports facts. They have integrity. These guys don't have that. They are paid commentators. They are no better than political commentators on either side of the aisle. That's all they are, is commentators.
Correct. You got me, because you know what? And a couple of them even admitted, well, we knew all about the Alex Yu. You know, we knew what he was doing, and we didn't report. And they didn't report. I'm like, you sat on that and you didn't report it. You guys are scumbags. More, if you would have reported it when it first came out, you could have might have saved a kid or two. Who knows what, you know, what, it's just, for them to protect pedophiles is sickening.
It is.
Isaiah Holt, the Lockdown Wolverines guy, he wears a Christ is King hat. Why he covers stuff up like that? Dude, you're a freaking fraud and a scumbag.
So,
they're on a level.
Sorry, Sean.
I mean, they are scumbag you. Scumbag you, man.
Yeah. Aaron had a question here. Is June 6th and 7th a hearing or the final verdict? That is when Michigan goes in front of the infractions committee. I don't know how long it'll take us to get a final verdict, but yeah, I've heard around a 30-day period we should have a final answer, which roughly blasts them right before we get hot and heavy into summer ball.
Well, thing is, Chris, look how many NOAs they already have. How many more are going to be coming after?
Well, you know, they're at least going to get one for
more
Matt Weiss.
gambling.
At least one. The gambling NOA, which could be associated with that as well. So I figure you've got anywhere between 2 and 3 more NOAs coming your way. And that's why I say, from start to finish, if you look at the Harbaugh years, I would call the Harbaugh years, or maybe we ought to call them the Ward Manual years. I don't know. This is the most corrupt program in the history of college athletics. And this is the largest scandal in the history of college athletics. It is so wide-reaching.
In all of athletics.
Yeah, in all of athletics.
All athletics.
All athletics. You're correct.
I mean, we still don't know what the investigation from Matt Weiss is. What else it's going to uncover?
Right.
They're still investigating. I mean, you know that he's going to get nailed with the gambling. You see that coming. But, I mean, U.S. Integrity was the first one to tip everybody off about it before they even knew it was a cheating scandal, because Michigan kept covering at an alarming rate that, you know, made no sense, and they tipped it off to the authorities. So you're looking at federal charges there.
Yeah.
Then you got freaking the school bankrolling, the collective bankrolling the whole cheating thing. So they can't sit there and say they didn't know.
Yeah.
I mean, your collective's bankrolling it.
Yeah. For them to deny they knew is I think kind of absurd. You know, you had Santa Ono defending Jim Harbaugh. You had Ward Manual helping to try to, I guess, ease tensions or temper things down a bit. Harbaugh is borderline nuts. And that's not something I say, but he's got issues of his own. Bit creepy, bit eccentric. But he fully knew what was going on. He was complicit in this. Your entire coaching staff, your coordinators, exactly. Especially somebody you don't know. At least he claims he didn't know. Your coaches, your coordinators were complicit in this. I still contend, as much as Michigan likes to toot their own horn about how smart they are, if their players are really as smart as what they say they are, their players knew and were complicit in covering this up. Now, I can't prove that, but if they're half as bright as what everybody likes to say they are, I think they'd be fools not to know.
J.J. McCarthy admitted it, that they cheated.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, he came out and admitted it. I mean, hello? I mean,
So yeah, for me, this is such a far-reaching, and I'll tell you what, Urban Meyer, and I did a video about this. Well, it was earlier last week, where when Urban Meyer came out and said, "Listen, anybody caught lying to the NCAA investigators should be banned for life." I'm going to say that anybody associated with this program who had any knowledge of it should be banned for life. And that includes any players who want to come back and coach down the road. Because if you knew about this, and the NCAA can show you knew about this, and obviously JJ McCarthy, if you admitted it, then you knew. Anybody that had that kind of knowledge and did not come forward and do something about it at that time deserves to be banned from the game of college football for life. That
Well, here's the thing,
includes
Chris.
that to me
They claim
includes
that none of them knew.
yeah. That includes
They claim that.
what's that?
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I said, well, they claim none of the coaches they knew.
Hold on one second, guys. We're having some technical difficulties, and I lost my caller here for a second. Sean, you still there? Hold on a second, Sean. We're having some technical difficulty here.
I can hear you.
Okay, there you are. Sorry about that. The phone fell off the desk, and I lost you. So go ahead with the thoughts you originally had there.
Okay. Partridge,
Yes.
the linebacker coach who got fired for telling the kids to lie to the NCAA investigators, he knew about the cheating scandal because Connor Stallions tried to get his intern or GA that was working with him to rent a car, drive down to Georgia, and videotape the game, and he did not want to do it. He did not feel comfortable doing it. He said it was wrong, and he told Partridge about it, that Connor won't leave me alone, wants me to do this for him, wants me to rent a car, he wants me to film the game and come back. And Partridge told Connor, leave the kid alone and don't let him, don't make him part of your scheme. And that was put into the investigation by the NCAA. So Partridge trying to say he didn't know nothing is BS. Harbaugh saying he didn't know anything's BS because you don't hand a GA a freaking game ball for nothing. I mean,
exactly.
GAs usually don't do nothing special to merit a game ball. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. Sean, I don't even know where to begin with their load of crap. It's a joke. It's an embarrassment. And they only make themselves look stupider the more that they try to cover it up, defend it. It's ridiculous.
I mean, if you look at Harbaugh, I'm going to give him 3 to 4 years with the Chargers because, like, everywhere he goes, his act gets stale and he loses the locker room. So after that happens, they fire him. He can't go back to college.
No.
And he's just going to end up probably being a coordinator somewhere, or, hopefully, I have to hope his brother still got a job with the Ravens so he can be a quarterback coach or something. But I think after this investigation comes out and everybody's able to read the whole thing, all the pages, it's going to make him look so bad. I don't even know if he's going to be touched. If he'll be hireable. Honestly.
Yeah.
When it all comes out, I mean, it's so bad that Michigan won't leak nothing right now. I mean, before, when the NOA they had NOAs, they were leaking a little bit out to try to do damage control. This last one was so bad that they didn't leak nothing. So that's got to tell you something right there that it's not good.
So Dennis is saying we need to put this thing on C-SPAN. Dennis, brother, I'm going to tell you right now, they can put this thing on pay-per-view. I'd buy it. This hearing, I'd absolutely buy it. because I'll tell you, these guys are going down like a fat kid on a cupcake. I'm just telling you.
Oh, they're going to be knocked back in their relevance for a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, look at and Sharon Moore. Does he even survive this year? He's probably going to get a full year show cause. Are they going to wait a year? I mean, they probably buy him out and get him out of there, wouldn't you?
You know, here's the thing. I feel like, to me, and everybody says, oh, all he did was erase some text messages. First of all, no, he was complicit. He was right there with Connor's magic card. But the other thing is, it's not the fact that he erased some text messages. He hindered an investigation.
Cover up. Yep.
And this is the thing that I really feel is lost on a lot of Michigan fans. And guys, sometimes the cover up is worse than the crime.
Yep. True.
And I said this all along. Had Michigan just come out when this was first discovered and said, yes, we did it, I think honestly at that point, they walk away with a minor slap on the wrist. Yeah, maybe they have to vacate a few wins from, say, 2021, 2022. I don't think their title is in jeopardy at that point if they do that. If Jim Harbaugh just complies, I don't think that his job would have been in jeopardy. I don't think that we would be looking at all this. But it was the fact that the university, Jim Harbaugh led the university, and they backed him up in giving what TG likes to call the double bird to the NCAA. And they decided to play a game of anything you can do, we can lie about it better. And at this point, the NCAA is out for blood. Where if you had just dealt with this in the beginning and done it the right way, I think that this isn't half of what it is now. And I don't think it's still ongoing.
Well, at least with Burgergate, if they would have said, yeah, we screwed up, we had the guys in,
Yeah,
you know, they would have got a slap on the wrist instead of doubling down and say you never met the kid, you don't know the kid, you never met his family. Then you have the recruiting director saying, no, he told us to cheat and to bring those kids on campus for in-person, you know, visits. I mean, how stupid can you be? If you just said you screwed up right there, the first time they wouldn't have hammered you that bad for Burgergate. That would have been a slap on the wrist.
correct.
But the fact that you're already your first offense. You're already a one-time offender. You're going to be a repeat offender if you do anything else. What do you guys do? You're already nailed once. You go and you do the biggest cheating scandal in college sports history. Then you have the biggest hacking, incident in college history, all in the same time frame.
Don't forget to throw in the pervert.
Okay. Yeah, well, the thing is they gave Matt Weiss had access to their stuff a year before he even joined the staff because they gave it to him when I was in Baltimore. And the one thing these Michigan fans are like, well, he started doing this. He was doing it in Baltimore.
Yeah, with your access.
Yeah, he was doing it. He was hacking in Baltimore. Then when he came to Michigan, he was still hacking. He didn't stop. He just didn't do it just in Baltimore, then magically stopped when he came to Michigan. He was still doing it. And here's my last final point to a lot of these morons who try to say Harbaugh didn't know anything. If he didn't know anything, then why, when they were negotiating a contract, did he demand immunity in it? Innocent people don't demand immunity.
That's the act of a guilty conscience. That's somebody who...
If I'm innocent, If I'm innocent, people are accusing me of doing something wrong, I'm going to stand at the mountaintop, declare my name, and yell I'm innocent. I'm not going to say, I need immunity in my contract. He demanded it. Innocent people don't do that, Chris.
No, they don't. They don't at all. I'm telling you,
Hey, brother,
there is a movement to get Burks to move to Columbus and come out of the closet and just admit that he's a Buckeye. What do you think? What do you think, Sean? Is Burks a closet Buckeye?
Oh, I don't think so. I think he.
I'm with you. I think Burks does love his team. Canadian. I think Burks loves his team for better or worse. And right now he's experiencing worse. But
the thing I disagree with Burks the most is he trashed Scoop and said Scoop doesn't know anything and they're wrong and it's a conspiracy theory. My friend, Scoop's been right about everything so far.
And I will tell you this. I have heard Kirk in the past admit when he's wrong. If he gets something and it's not 100% right, he's a man and he comes out and admits that he's wrong.
But I've also seen him come on the program and say how much he respects us, and he goes on other programs and does the opposite, Chris. So,
you're talking about
him going on
Burks,
always Irish and trash and us. Yeah, I'm talking about Burks.
I was saying Kirk is a stand-up guy who, if he's wrong,
Kirk.
He's a stand-up guy, and if he's wrong, he comes out and he'll tell you he's wrong. He doesn't claim to be perfect. None of us claim to be perfect.
The thing is every time, Kirk isn't a homer. He will.
No, he's
criticize.
Yeah.
He's honest, and that's what. He's not bound to the university. The university doesn't own him. He can say whatever he wants. So, he is honest, and if he sees them screwing up and doing something wrong, he'll get on them. He's not, he's not all sunshine and rainbows. He's not a sunshine pumper like some people try to claim he was. But
yeah,
I got a lot of respect for Kirk because Kirk does things that, he'll tell it like it is. He's honest about it.
Yeah.
But, a lot of these people hate him for it. So, it is what it is.
Yeah, he's come on here a couple times with us, and I have a lot of respect for Kirk. I got a lot of respect for what they do. I got a lot of respect for their program. Do I consider them the end-all be-all source? No, but I don't consider ourselves the end-all be-all source. I don't consider any podcaster or any media outlet to be the end-all be-all source. I look at for what they do when you're having a civil trial. Look for preponderance of the evidence, and when you look at that, the majority of the time, the preponderance of the evidence seems to side with exactly what they're saying. So take it for what it's worth, but I do believe they are pretty credible in most things, just like I believe, I've seen, and I see Mello in the chat, I consider the Buckeye boys pretty credible guys. I consider, like you said, Spiro, I consider him a pretty credible guy. He's not an Ohio State guy, but I consider him a credible guy. I think there's a lot of podcasts. John Kennedy, I think he's a credible guy. When he makes a statement, I believe a lot of what he says. And I could go down the list on and on through a lot of the guys we have on the College Huddle, because we have something that they lack in Michigan, and that is we have integrity.
Class, morals.
We have integrity because our reputation means something to us. We aren't bought and paid for by the university. So will Eric or I or Corey or you or TG come out and have a hot take from time to time that may or may not be wrong? Or maybe wrong?
We all will.
Yeah, we will. We're going to have a hot take that may be wrong. We're going to have an opinion that may not be popular. We may throw out speculation about something, but we'll tell you that it's speculation. So that's the difference between us And when I say us, I mean the majority of the sports podcast world versus the scum podcasters in media. Because as I said earlier, they are paid commentators by the university. We aren't. We're just fans who are out here speaking the truth. Anything else you got for me tonight, Sean?
Nope, I appreciate you. All I gotta say is, guys, you go look at people's track records. I mean, all you gotta do is just
It means a lot.
listen to what they say, and it will show you if someone's real or if someone's full of BS. Simple as that. Thanks for having me on, my brother. I appreciate you. I appreciate everybody in the chat that's supporting Chris.
Hey, Sean.
Everybody that's called in tonight.
Real quick before you go, do you guys have something hot planned for tomorrow night on the Buckeye Lounge?
We're just gonna kick it, me and TG, and discuss. Jordan Thomas is committed. There's a couple other things we want to talk about. Maybe in a week or two, might have another special guest come on. Tim, I talked to Tim tonight, and his daughter's in lacrosse playoffs right now, so it's probably gonna be a couple weeks before we get him on, full time with us.
Yeah, I think Eric's kid's doing lacrosse and in the playoffs. His stepson, Xander. I think that Eric's kid was doing, or stepson, I'm sorry, was doing lacrosse playoffs as well, if I'm not mistaken, or was playing lacrosse.
There's one thing I do want to say real quick before I leave. I just want to tell, I don't know if she's in the chat right now, but I want to say to Mika, you did an awesome job last night, girl. You were awesome. I'm proud of you. I know everybody I talked to was very impressed, and we are so proud of you, and we love you. And keep doing what you're doing, girl. The recruiting queen had some great takes last night, and she was just awesome on the round table.
Yeah.
Can't say enough about her.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks, Sean. I appreciate it. Make sure you guys.
Thanks, Chris.
OH.
IO.
Go Bucks. Yeah, everybody make sure you drop into the Buckeye Lounge tomorrow night, 8:00. Like I said, you'll find that right here on the OHIO Podcast Network. That is the Buckeye Lounge with Sean and TG. Guys, they do some great things. They do some great things over there. If you guys missed the RJ Day interview, you missed a great one. And Sean mentioned it absolutely. Last night, Mika was our special guest on the roundtable discussion. She did a phenomenal job. And, I can't say enough to really all of our guests that come on and help us out. All the callers. I like to think we have some of the most enlightened callers, some of the most knowledgeable guests, some of the most entertaining guests. So I really feel that that's one of the reasons why we are now where we are. We have organically grown to over 4,000 subscribers on YouTube. Our goal is to be at 5 by the time we roll around to the game. So if you guys could go on, subscribe if you haven't already. Again, hit that little bell to let you know when we drop new content, which we try to do a lot. Eric does that almost daily. And coming this summer, expect to hear a lot more from me because I am actually taking the summer off this year. Pretty excited about that. So I'll be taking the summer off this year. So I'll be dropping more content on a regular basis through the week as well. But as it stands right now, it looks like we have no one else in queue. So this might be as good a time as any to go ahead and start to wrap things up for the night. Again, remember, if you like what we do here, go that extra mile. Become an official Pod Squad member. New Pod Squad t-shirts will be hitting the store on our website, theohiopodcast.com. So we're going to have some Pod Squad t-shirts coming on. We've already dropped a couple of new shirts here recently. Aaron, I have about a week and a half of school left. So I'm pretty happy about that. But yeah, we've already dropped some new merch on the store site already. and make sure you go to the store link, not the merch link. Go to the store link. Thank you again, Tyler. Make sure you get the thumbs up. Like I said, make sure you subscribe, hit that little bell. It definitely helps us with the algorithm. And please go on, share every show we do, whether it's me, whether it's Eric on Thursday Night Call In, whether it's Sean and TG with the Buckeye Lounge, whether it is our Sunday night roundtable discussion, whether it's Dr. Corey dropping a Buckeye therapy video, or the Saturday call-in or Saturday game day shows. Just make sure you're liking and sharing every time we're on the air. Share to your friends on Facebook. Share to your friends on X. Share to your friends on Rumble. Definitely share to your friends on YouTube. Let's get this thing growing. Let's hit 5,000. And hey, what more can I say? It's a good day to be a Buckeye. So until next time, OHIO, go Bucks, Wildman out.